Alrighty guys, as you can bring into the Dragon Ball Legends TOP walkthrough video. This is going to be in regards to season 115. We've come a long way and we're nearing the end of what we know as TOP at least. So last season we ended off at rank 826, which is nuts. Very greedy, very greedy. I mean, we used Dragon Ball Saga, right? Dragon Ball Saga, definitely one of those teams where if you don't have enough stars on it, you're going to struggle heavily. There was even points before reaching the end where we struggled heavily. I received a lot of comments, and to an extent, I read the comments, right? I don't like bury myself in the comments, but I know a lot of you guys struggle with DB Saga. Well, I do have good news for you in that I think I'm happy. I think I ran every team that I wanted to run. The only team that I haven't ran that I want to run is probably a Saiyan's team with Green God Cube. The only thing holding me back from doing that is the lack of having Green God Cube in my box, right? Turn 1 super attacker seems nice. So as of right now, I think I'm content with what we've done, the teams that we've used, and I think it's time to just main regeneration going forward. Giving you guys a lot of time to just build up friendship ranks if you guys haven't already, giving you guys something consistent every single season, right? Especially for those of you that have older accounts, or even for those of you who have newer accounts, or just trying to get into one team. So from here on out, we are back to just one tag, at least until the TOP changes. That being said, huge shout out to doomgeta, Aflac, Bread, all those guys in Discord. I always say that these videos would not be as good as they are without them. So if you want to show them some love, definitely check out the links in the description down below. One of them is to doomgeta's personally owned Discord, which is the Celestials. The other one is the unofficial Dragon Ball Legends Discord server. And those are great if you need extra resources, especially for stuff like TOP. And as always, before we continue, there will be timestamps in the description down below. That way you guys can go ahead and get to where you need to go, so you can just zip in and zip out. First thing we'll talk about is our pathing. Really straightforward every single time, right? So last season we actually had a good chunk of difficult fights ahead of us. This season it's only 4. Don't think this is going to be that bad of a season. Some of the fights are a little bit iffy, but a total of 4 difficult fights. We'll take that. First half is just gray, right? Just completely gray. You don't really need to worry about bringing in your high tier characters, getting a bunch of points in that first half. It's the second half that you have to worry about. That's why it's color coded, right? And I do have the color code guide right here in the center of the screen, so you know exactly where your win streak is going to start ramping up to the point where you want to start bringing in your boost characters to get an exponential increase in your score. And remember, if you die, your win streak gets reset, right? Like you get moved down 2 spaces, your win streak gets reset. You do not want to do that. If you go on a yellow tile or a green tile, your win streak does not reset, but you're not going to reach the 25th win streak bonus, which is a massive bonus. So now moving on to the color wheel, there's not going to be a cover change prediction wheel, by the way. I can tell you right now though, that Blast teams are going to be better off this season. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can give you. Blast, and that's usually the case, right? There's usually a difference, somewhat of a gap between how many strike cover changes there are versus how many blast cover changes there are. Blast teams are going to be better off. As for the color wheel right here, again, only the 4 difficult fights that we're going to cover in this. So for reds, there's 7 threatening reds, 2 threatening yellows, 4 threatening purples, 2 greens, and then 8 blues. So on the Universe Reps / Future fight, which we're going to go over, there's 7 units indicated right there. It's just because there's a tag unit in there, right? It's a Go Frieza, so we counted them as both a blue unit and a purple unit. But just based off of this, don't pile on too many yellow units. Don't pile on too many red units, right? Reds and blues are extremely relevant throughout these fights. So now let's get into the actual fights themselves. For the tips and tricks portion, we're only going to talk about some highlighted units right here, right? For example, this fight, I would circle the Buu, right? Because he has a stun on turn 3. It's not like a turn 2 stun or anything like that, so you have a little bit of time to kill him before that goes off, but you definitely don't want to let him stun you, right? Red 18 is also a high priority here because she has debuffs. The Red Goku Black has debuffs. And then the purple Tapion is someone to note, just because once you hit him, he does apply debuffs to you as well. So most of the time, you will try to go for him last, but he does have a non-health gated blast cover change, and sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. Right above that, you do have this, I don't know what to call this fight, but it's Ultra Hit and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. So Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, he has a super attack on turn 2. Do not let him get that off for free, right? It's not going to hurt. This guy's super old and he's not Zenkai'd. I don't think it's going to do too much damage unless he lands it on a purple unit, but don't let him get it off. And then the Ultra Hit, he does stun at the end of turn 1, and then he stuns again once he's below 50% HP, right? So he has 2 opportunities to stun. Don't really want to let him get both of those off. Ideally, you kill both of those units in turn 1. Next, you have this movies fight right here. So Bojack, right? Bojack, he does have the blue card at the end of turn 2. So not turn 3. He just has really slow key restore speed, right? So you do have a little bit of time. Most of your units are going to be able to attack before he attacks. And then I probably would just go for Janemba last here, just because I'm pretty sure that Janemba does have a blast mitigation. So next you have this future fight right here. So Mai is going to be highlighted. She does have a stun available to her. I believe it's like at the end of turn 2 as well. So again, still have a little bit of time, but just get her out of the way before she does that. And then future Gohan, you go for last because he does have death buffs for the row behind him, I believe. Next, you have this kind of like Gohan family, kind of like Sun Fam and then Hercule Fam, basically. What you want to do here is Pan and Beast Gohan are the biggest threats here. Pan, of course, is applying all of her debuffs on turn 2. If you can get her out in turn 1, that's perfect. And then, of course, Beast Gohan, do not let him transform on turn 3. And then after those 2, you should be golden, right? Death Buff Goku is going to be your last killed unit, and then Goten would only be like a mid priority. I don't think it's worth circling. Next, you have this fight right here. Obviously, tag unit. It's on the top of our list right here, and then probably the future, or the father-son Kamehameha Gohan, right? He's getting stronger every time one of his allies dies. Get him out. Don't overpower him, right? Don't save him for last, and then he's hitting pretty decently. He's still really old, right? And then the Majin Vegeta does have the self-explosion. Once he gets below a certain HP threshold, just be careful about that. And then Kefla does have a buff against Saiyans. Again, really old unit, though. Then next, you have this fight. Pretty much everyone's going to be highlighted here, except for the purples, right? My go-to for this fight is saving super attacks. I like to go for the Ultra Red Vegeta first as a Blast Team user, just because he has a strike mitigation, right? So as a Blast Team, I don't care about that. He has a chance to double attack. Double attackers are scary. So go for him. I like to go for the VB, also another double attacker, right? The blue VB. And then I like to go for the fusing Super Vegito as my 3rd slot unit. And you also want to get him out of the way before he fuses on turn 3. So sometimes people will prioritize him higher than one of the double attackers, which makes sense, right? And then you just whittle down the purples, and then you go for the yellow at the end. That yellow Ultra Vegito still is a high priority. It's just that he has blast mitigation, right? If you're a strike team, you basically just swap it around. And next you have this fight. I mean, this is not going to be a hard fight, right? You just go for the 13. He's the most relevant unit. This purple Trunks, he does have like support transformation stats. Vegeta has transformation stats. Get those 3 out of the way, and then get this android 14. Is that 14 or 15? I can never remember. But the sombrero guy, he's last because he does have death buffs inflicted. And then I'm pretty sure this guy has an attack mitigation with his like green card mechanic. And then next you have this Buu versus Gohan fight. Easiest thing to do here is just get the ultimate Gohan and then the Beast Gohan out of the way. And then I would also say that this guy can be somewhat of a threat because he's a double attacker. This guy has a cover rescue. This guy has the barrier mechanic. But the biggest ones here is the purple ultimate Gohan, the red Beast Gohan, and then you could maybe consider the red Buuhan as well. Next, you have the Heraclan. This team is surprisingly tanky, at least for like a team like Dragon Ball Saga. This team was super tanky for me. Bujin stuns on turn 2. Get him out on turn 1. Ideally, Bujin and Gokua in turn 1, right? Before Gokua transforms and gets the transformation stats. That would be so freaking nice. And then this Bojack gets slightly weaker every time you kill one of his allies. So even though he's the most newest unit on here, probably has the best damage, you're still getting him weaker by taking out some of his allies, right? Next, you have this fight. So how I would approach this is going for Whis first, since he does have that stun on turn 2. Then this Piccolo has good damage, plus he has debuffs. Get him out of the way. Then probably either the Beerus or the Gohan, right? So Beerus, he's not terrible. He's not like amazing. He's not going to like burst you down or anything like that, but he's still newish. And then obviously the father-son Kamehameha Gohan, he's getting stronger every time you kill one of his allies. And then you have this like Vegeta clan fight, basically. It's like a watered down version of it. So Parasite Trunks can be high priority, really strong against hybrids and Saiyans. Then Bola has like board wide support. She also has a cover change, I believe. Then Majin Vegeta for the stats, and I think that just those three. And then after that, you got a fight straight above you, which is just the LOE fight. So you have Frost on here, stuns on turn 2, right? You can go ahead and kill him before he does that. You're going to get stunned by the red Frieza over there in the corner. It is what it is. But after you get Frost and Cooler can both be your first priority, right? Those are both equal of importance, right? I mean, obviously Cooler's the better unit, better damage, but if you want to avoid the stun, and go for the Frost first and then into the Cooler, I understand it. Then the Revival Frieza is your last targeted. Next, you have the Super Saiyan 3 fight. So Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku stunning you, right? Can't do much about that, but then high priority would also be this Super Saiyan 3 Purple Goku, the Super Saiyan 3 Red Goku, and then you go for the Gotenks last because of death buffs. And then you have this fight right in the smack dab middle, right? This is typically a boss fight, by the way, which they love to do. So the Zero Mortal plan, every unit here is circled, unfortunately. So Ultra Rose, obviously turn 1 super attack. If by some miracle you have units that are faster than him, amazing for you, right? Especially if you have a super attack built up, awesome. His super attack isn't the strongest in the world, though. If you get hit by it, it sucks. I'm sorry, but I don't think it's going to be, that's not going to kill your run. Obviously this blue Goku over here, he has support. This Zamasu has debuffs. This Goku Black has debuffs. This corrupted Zamasu, he hits hard, and then when you kill him, he debuffs you. He also can build up super attack pretty fast, so you got to be careful about him. I have had reports of you guys getting hit by his super attack by saving him for last because of being scared of those debuffs. So I would probably recommend him like in the 4th slot at least. And then you definitely go for this blue Zamasu last, right? Because when you hit him, he debuffs you. At the same time, he's also debuffing your bottom row, so you want to avoid that. Next, you have this fight, easy. Nothing really to worry about right here. High priority, obviously, go for the Vegeta first, most relevant unit here, and then you go for the Gogeta. Gogeta is getting a super attack on turn 3, and then he also stuns. So, obviously, that's a turn 3 thing. So, get Vegeta out, like, for your turn 1 phase. Turn 2 phase, you focus on the Gogeta, and then the rest should follow pretty easily. You probably would go for the purple Vegito, go for these other purples, and then you go for the Ultra Omega last. Next, you have this event exclusive fight, so just off rip, Raditz, right? Raditz is his turn 1 super attacker, but he has low key restore speed. Get him out of the way. Don't let him super attack you. It's a good idea to avoid super attacks. And then you go for the debuffers, right? Like Broly's a debuffer, Demon King Piccolo's a debuffer, and then everyone else should go down pretty easily, right? Again, this Bojack relies on having allies alive to reach his full potential. By that time, you should already have 3 units dead. And then this is your final fight right here. It is annoying, somewhat new too. Usually Ultra Hit isn't on this fight, right? So what I think we're going to do here is we're going to go for the Ultra Hit first, since he stuns at the end of turn, so we can at least avoid 1 stun, because Jiren is also stunning us, right? So double stuns, it doesn't sound fun. Does not sound fun. So we probably would go for Hit first, and then the double attacker, right? I hate getting double attacked. And then the Go Frieza or the Blue Trunks, and then the Zamasu, corrupted Zamasu, since also, again, you don't want to let him build up to a super attack, and then Jiren at the end for sure, right? Because he's going to be super duper tanky. But now, before we move on to our teams portion of the video, the top teams for the season, please refer to this guide for any questions regarding any of the icons, right here in front of you on the screen. That's going to tell you exactly what the arrows mean, the colors of the arrows, all that stuff, right? So the first team we're going to talk about is the team we are going to be using ourselves. It is going to be Regeneration, right? So my team on the screen, and then Doomgeta's crafted team on the right-hand side. So only a few differences here. When I'm using Regeneration and I'm using the Ultra Cell, because I love using the Ultra Cell, I want to take advantage of the Ultra Z ability, right, and get as much damage on him as possible, because he is my fastest unit. So when I get a super attack, I want it to hit hard, and he gets extra damage inflicted per ally tag android. So I'm going to put on as much androids as I can possibly fit on there. Core unit, you do have the Super Baby 2 for heals. He's never going anywhere. You have the boost unit, Z tier purple cell, and then for me, I have the S tier blue cell. S tier transforming red cell is a strike based unit, but he's an S tier, and that's awesome. I don't even have that unit to begin with. If you have that unit and you want to farm up his friendship rank to 10, go for it, dude. He's going to work just fine on this team. As for the main team, you have double super attackers here, guaranteed. Boo-Tank's turn 1, Piccolo turn 3. That purple cell is freaking awesome. A better unit than that purple cell is the newer Legends Limited cell. I just don't have them at a great star level. Maybe we'll use him. I don't know. We'll use him like next season or something. And then instead of the Parasite Trunks, who is great, a great, phenomenal green unit, right? There's a lot of strong green units on regeneration. Like, off the top of my head, even the Omega Shenron is good. That Parasite Trunks is good. The DKP, I freaking glazed the crud out of that DKP, right? The event exclusive one. But this Zenkai First Form Green Cell is so good. He is also very, like, again, a lot of strong greens here. So the next team we'll talk about is the girls team. Girls, again, this is one of those teams where be careful about using it, right? It's a squishy team, very squishy team. No core unit here. You just have a healer with that blue EX Kale. You have a good chunk of boosts, double Z tiers, so 20 and 20, 40, and then an S tier for the 50, right? So Z tier Yellow Rosie, Z tier Red Mai, and then S tier Blue Bulma. That Bulma is actually freaking awesome, dude. She did such good damage on my DB Saga team. I'm not sure about on the girl setup, but I would imagine they have a lot of like support for each other, so you never know. You do have the Kale Khalifa assist unit. You have the Kefla Super Saiyan 2 event exclusive unit, the premium Red Mai, and then you have the green 21 for she's Zenkai unit plus she has a stun, which is nice. Next, we have my GOATs, which is the DB Saga right here, right? So we used this team last season. It was hard to use them, but it was very fun, for me at least, right? Obviously, if I'm just getting cream pied, it's not going to be as fun. For a core unit, you have the Yellow Roshi HPZ ability. Boost unit, you have the S tier Bulma. Bulma is nice too because she's like canceling all enemy buff effects on turn 2, I believe, and she's supporting in the 4 corners. And then you have the boost, the S tier Tambourine, and then the S tier green Chi-Chi. So green Chi-Chi is nice because she's giving that Zenkai buff to Tambourine, right? Tambourine is also going to be a healer for you. Jackie Chun is also going to be a healer for you. You have the DKP for debuffs. Launch has easily the best damage on the team. And then you have the purple Goku. If you don't want to run that purple Goku and put someone else in there, like maybe even the Piccolo Jr. or I don't know, someone else, right? That Goku didn't really do much for me, but he's also a low star for me. So could be something different for you guys. He also has a chance to double attack on turn 3, which never procced for me. Never. Next, we have the powerful opponent setup that never freaking changes, bro. Never. I don't really... I mean, okay, so Broly core unit, HPZ ability. Boost unit, you have that Z tier Goku Black. He's always Z tier. I didn't like using that guy. He's not hard to use. He's hard to keep alive. And then you have... I guess it helps out here because that Yellow Tapion is S tier, and he can kind of just pocket that blue Goku Black once you get into high tier territory, right? Because he does heal the space directly behind him. And so you can maybe just take advantage of that. On the main team, you have Ultra Rose Breast unit, right? It's turn 1 super attacker. Garlic Jr. is going to help you avoid any stuns, at least for the slot above him, left, right, and below him, which is good. Blue Goku Black for support. Red Corrupted Zamasu, just a hard hitter, builds a super attack really fast. Same thing with the purple cell. Next, you have Saga's the Blast Base. This is a struggle team. I think the strike-based version of this team is going to work a lot better. But this is definitely a struggle version of the team, right? You have a core unit, of course, with HP Z ability Roshi. You have the S tier Raisin and Lakase, which is a newer unit, so in theory they should perform well, right? That's what I also thought about Tambourine, and he underperformed heavily for me. But again, he might work better on a strike-based setup, right? You have S tier Bujin, who's a stunner, which is good. You have S tier Zenkai Turles. He's just a stat whore, right? Which is great for boost units. On the main team, notably, you have Pycon. Pycon Revival, Debuffer, really good. Turles, just a really good EX, like one of the better EX units, honestly. He's always rotating through teams. He just has aura. And then the Ultra Turles is on here as well. Of course, a lot of you guys might not have him. You have both of the event exclusive blues there for that, right? The Broly and the free-to-play Gohan. You have the new 13 that you could possibly use on the team. You have the Blue Beast Gohan if you really want to force him on there, even though he prefers more strike stuff, right? And then you even have the blue event exclusive meta. I mean, there's a lot of event exclusive replacements for that Ultra Turles, which is good. And then, of course, you have the purple Path to Power Kid Goku again. Next, we do have the strike based, right? So this is where movies really shines. I feel like core unit Pan HP's the ability buffer, right? And she's also a debuffer too. So she's better than Roshi for sure, 100%. And then you have Z tier yellow Broly. S tier double Tapion setup right here too, right? Purple Tapion, non-health gated cover change with debuffs available to him, and then you have the yellow Tapion that's healing one tile behind him, and then he's also debuffing the enemy team. You have Days on here. You have the Blue Beast Gohan, amazing unit. You have Zenkai Cooler, amazing damage, and then you have Green Godku, debuffs plus turn 1 super. What more can you ask from a guy? Now let's go into the GT, right? We just got out of a GT campaign. You guys should all be running GT. So we got core unit baby. Never is his place getting replaced. Never. That is your healer, primary source of healing right there. You don't even need HPZ ability because of that baby. Z tier, you have that green EX Trunks, a very strong pick for the season. And then the Z tier EX baby Vegeta right there. He's also a debuffer. Not too look. There's 3 S tier replacements. It's a little rough for them, right? But it's okay. On the main team, you do have debuffs from the GT Vegeta and from the Hellfighter 17. Amazing unit, by the way. You have the newly Zenkai Spirit Bomb Goku, who also has a stun. You have the Parasite Trunks, just really strong against hybrids and Saiyans alike. And then your best unit on this team, I do have to say, is the Super 17. That guy, if there's a yellow unit on the enemy team, you're bringing Super 17 in. Getting that like 50% chance to double attack, and then whenever you do attack in a yellow unit, you're also boosting up your special move gauge is very valuable. Then we have the strike-based version. Another GT is just always struggling when it comes to boost units, but I feel like all the GT mains have all the GT units, so it's not really a big issue, right? So they get by. That's why they're always included in these videos, right? Anyways, core unit still baby, right? You're never getting rid of baby, bro. You're never. Healer. Right? And then for Z tier, you have that Super Baby 2 EX. He only gets damage cut against Saiyans. Be careful about using him. S tier Red Oob, and then S tier Nova Shenron, who just got his Zenkai. We'll talk about him a little bit later, but that guy was already a really good boost option. I'm surprised they're keeping him on Z tier even with the new Zenkai, right? He also has the Bubble Shield mechanic. As for the main team, you have Guaranteed Stun with 3Q, you have the Tag 4s, you have Ultra Gogeta, and then you have the Kid Goku, who's getting 50% to his special move gauge a fight, so he's popping it pretty often. Next, you do have LOE. So for your core unit, chilled HPZ ability, right? Core unit should also be slid onto that Revza. I mean, I don't think Revza is necessarily, because he gets swapped out from season to season. Maybe he doesn't deserve the core unit no more, but he's still revival, he's still support, and he's heals, which is really nice, right? On your backup, you have Z tier second form Frieza, and then you have the S tier green Frieza. As for the main team, you have the Ultra Frieza down there. It's okay if you don't have the Ultra Frieza, easily just slap on the event exclusive golden green Frieza. That is a core unit. I actually think that one-on-one comparison, I do think the green golden is better than the Ultra. He's just doing more for the team. He might not have better damage, but he just has more utility. And so I do prefer him, unless you're running them together. Right? If you're running them together, it's a little bit of a different story. You have double stuns here with the purple Frieza, and then the red Frieza, who also just recently Zenkai'd. He's really strong. And then you have the yellow golden, who gets a turn 1 super attack. You want to make sure he's always on a yellow tile to upgrade it to the ultimate arts, because when you hit the ultimate, you also inflict debuffs. Next, we have the Frieza Force team, which is just, obviously, it's just Frieza and his minions, or followers, right? Because Broly's not necessarily a minion. But you have a core unit here with the green golden, and you notice he's next to the Ultra, right? That double green combo is really strong. And then you have double Z tier right here with Monray, and then with a pool. Or no, that's not a pool. My bad. Minion enjoyers, my fault. That's Ramon. right? And then on the main team, you do have double stuns, red Zenkai Frieza, a purple Frieza. You have debuffs from the blue Broly, and then of course the yellow golden for that turn 1 super attack. Golden Frieza, golden tile, upgrade the ultimate, or upgrade to ultimate, and then inflict debuffs. And then we have Uni Reps. So Uni Reps core unit is going to be that golden green Frieza. That dude, look at him. He's popping off, bro. He's popping off. Look who he's next to. That yellow golden, right? We just talked about those two. So green golden, he's supporting, he's healing the whole team. And then you have the yellow golden, who's getting that turn 1 super, right? Obviously, keep him on the ultimate tile. Upgrade to ultimate, debuff the enemy with the ultimate. Z tiers include the red Rosie and then the S tier Topo. Topo is really strong too because he's buffing your crit damage. And then on the main team, you have MVP 17 support. You have Kaba debuffs, the green Kaba debuffs, purple Jiren turn 1 stun, and then you have the red Kaba who's also healing, and he's buffing your key restore speed. Next, you have the Uni Reps strike base. So this is definitely a downgrade from the blast base one, right? But it's not bad, right? No core unit here. You do have the Z tier green Kakunza and the S tier purple Bergamo. And honestly, you have some good replacement options here. Like you could even, personally, I'm bringing in the green urine over the green Kakunza because that urine is Z tier, right? That's a good option right there for you. And then on the main team, you have 3 healers here. So, I mean, they're all pseudo healers. They're not like main heals, but it's nice. I think 18 only gets her heal if she kills an enemy too, by the way. So you got that to look forward to. Red MUI does have the evade mechanic plus does damage. And then you have the Caulifla, Kale, tag unit. Tag units are just so good. You got to glaze the tag units, bro. And then Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, he gets a turn 2 super attack guaranteed. Next, we got the Taunthan setup, right? So core unit is obviously going to be Taunthan. Taunthan is the name of the team. It's going to be based around him. You also have HPZ ability here, plus heals from Goten. So you're ensuring that your boy cannot die. And then on your backup, you have Z tier Kid Gohan. You have the S tier Gohan and Trunks. But a recommendation I would probably make here is the fact that not listed on the replacements, but the green Trunks from the BoJack movie, he's also an S tier, and his Z ability is so goddamn strong. And I know this is like a Sunfam / Hybrids team, so it's his Z abilities are pretty much they're going to work for everyone here except for that green Godku up there, right? On the main team, obviously you have the double beast Gohans, blue and yellow, both phenomenal units, and then you have Godku, which is he's debuffer and plus turn 1 super. Next we have blast based Saiyans. This team is so damn fun, bro. I loved using this team. I loved using double tag units, bro. That was the best part about using this team, is using the Buu Duo and the Evo Ken. Those are your fastest units on this team. And then no core unit here. It's double Z tiers with the Saiyan in red and the green Raditz, which some of you guys might think that's a little bit too greedy. There's other S tier replacements. You can just swap one out, right? On the main team, you have Revival Nappa, also another great unit. He didn't revive for me at freaking 5 or 4 stars, or however much stars I have him at. You have Zenkai Bardock on here. You have the Yellow Jita for some heals. And then you have Kaba on here for support and heals. So next, you do have the Strike Base Saiyan, so still no core unit here. Z tier Yellow Broly, and then S tier Purple Vegeta. That Purple Vegeta is a freaking tank. He's good. And then S tier Nappa, who's he does good damage and he's a debuffer. He's a phenomenal boost unit to have. Sometimes people will use him even when he's not on boost because he's just viable. You have the Miniku down there. He's supporting. You want him in that middle spot right there. He's supporting key restore speed. You have some heavy hitters on here, right? Like Ultra Goku, Kaioken Goku, Go Frieza tag unit glaze, and then of course Godku, turn 1 super attacker plus debuffer. So next we have hybrids. This is the blast base setup right here. HPZ ability of Pan. For your boost units, you have that Z tier green Trunks. If you don't have him, you can easily swap him out with one of the Z tiers below, such as the green EX Future Gohan, who's he's basically event exclusive, right? You can farm him up from his event whenever it comes around. I don't think it's up right now. And then also Z tier Zenkai Blue Trunks. Again, Zenkai units are phenomenal for boost units because they're stat whores, right? And so they're going to be durable. They're going to live. That's what you want from your boost units. And then main team, you have tag unit Grunks, tag unit Trunks and Vegeta. You have the Ultra Yellow Beast, and then you have the Green Revival Gohan, who's giving a Zenkai buff to the Ultra Green Gohan. And that Green Gohan, he gets a guaranteed super attack once he mitigates a strike attack. Next, we do have the strike-based version, so HP's ability for Pan, core unit. Z-tier Purple Trunks, who also is supporting your hybrid allies, hybrid slash Vegeta clan, I believe is his. Either way, it works here, right? And then the S-tier Gohan and Trunks. And this is one of those things, again, right here, where I probably would replace the Gohan Trunks tag unit for... I mean, tag units are good, right? But the Z ability on that goddamn Green Trunks, that's S-tier from the BoJack movie, Princess Trunks, some may call him. He's... dude, he's so freaking good, bro. I mean, the unit, the kit itself isn't necessarily the best, but that Z ability is just chef's kiss, right? I like the Z ability a lot. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull up that Z ability just so you guys don't think I'm just yapping out of my butt. So he's 14 stars right here, 35% to episode sagas from the movies, or tag hybrid Saiyan, base strike attack and defense, and then another extra 18% to sagas from the movies and hybrid Saiyan base strike attack and or well, just base strike attack, right? And a lot of these units are, right? Like the Pan, the Gotenks, both of the Beast Gohans, you're getting a lot. Even that Purple Trunks. And then on main team, you have Gotenk support, you have the tag Krillhan, you have double Beast here, and then you have the Green Zenkai Trunks. And then we have Majin Buu Saga, so core unit Pweep Pweep for HPZ ability. You have Z tier Dabura, S tier Videl, Blue Videl, and then main team Tien. You have the Purple Goku for support. You have Buu Duo, very fast unit. Also cleanup crew, right? Because the turn 4 Kamehameha or Transcendent Kamehameha. Hercule slash Buu assist unit should have the healer icon on them because they are pseudo healer. If you don't have that unit, you could easily slide on the free-to-play Yellow 18, who also acts as a pseudo-healer. And then you have the Buuhan down there. He has a great Z ability for the team, and then he also acts as a double attacker. And fun fact, that red Buuhan actually can bypass Taunthan's mechanic, right? Where he has the taunt mechanic, because he's canceling buff effects on a Blast Arts. So next we have event exclusive right here, double core unit of the Golden Frieza, who's healing everyone, right? The whole board and supporting the team. Plus Pui Pui, who is HPZ ability buffer. And then once he gets below a certain HP threshold, he's just pumping out super attacks, which is cool. And then you have the Z tier Monray, the S tier Raspberry. And then on the main team, you have Super Saiyan 3 Goku support, debuffs from both the Broly and the Shinron, plus you have support from the Yellow Cell. Everyone here should be 14 stars, by the way, right? This is an event exclusive team. Last but not least, we have Android's Blast based. So core unit is going to be that Cell HPZ ability buffer, plus he's a healer for the team. Z tier Purple Cell, who's also debuffing. And then you have the S tier Red 18, who's also debuffing. Right, and then main team, you have that Green Cell, who's also debuffing. He's has good damage output as well. MVP 17 support, tag unit, Gamma 1 and 2. You have the Purple Cell on there, who's just basically a beat stick, especially against hybrid slash Saiyan members. And then you have the Ultra Cell, one of the strongest red units in the game. Really enjoy using that dude. And you actually have some new additions here, since we had the Super 13 Saga banner that just dropped, right? With that, both of those units probably prefer to be on strike-based teams, but you can force them on here just because they have even stats, or you could even opt to making a strike-based androids team, which the Discord didn't make, but definitely can be done for the season. All right, so for the final segment, let's go ahead and take a look at these new units, right? So ToP stats, max stats. This is Super 13 or Android 13, by the way. He is a support type. Key restore speed, freaking awesome. 2,570. I keep saying awesome too. I don't know why. After he transforms, it goes up just a little bit, right, to 2,595. Just has the blue card, no ultimate ability. First ability, 80% doing damage inflicted, 10% cut, and inflicting debuffs already valued, right? 15% to damage received for 2 turns, and minus 50% to special gauge charge rate for 2 turns. Start of the turn, allies in rage, you're healing them, so he's a healer. 20% to damage inflicted, and 5% to special. Like, I feel like this would go insane with Red Cell, right? Because Red Cell is also giving you 5% to special move gauge. So, I don't know, man. Seems pretty damn good. And then when he revives, which is probably going to be never, you get 20% to damage inflicted, 10% cut, and then you stay transformed throughout the rest of your path. On strike or blast arts, you inflict more debuffs, minus 30% to ki recovery for 2 turns, cancel attribute upgrades, and minus 10% to special move gauge. If you are hitting a Goku unit, you get 40% to your own special move damage, and you inflict stun for 1 turn. According to battle turn, second turn you get 60% to ki recovery, third turn 20% to damage inflicted, and the fourth turn you heal by 2%. Honestly, not too impressed with the second half of his kit, but the first part seems awesome. The maximum stats, ToP stats, they have a ki restore speed of 2,274, just a blue card available to them. Start of the battle, 60% to damage inflicted, 15% to cut, 15% to ki recovery, 10% to special move gauge. On strike or blast arts hit, 10% to own damage inflicted, you're debuffing, 10% to damage received for 2 turns, and minus 10% to health restoration for 2 turns. After receiving an attack, you heal yourself by 1% 2 times, and you get 3% to special move gauge. At the end of turn, you perform tag switch and switch elements, 10% of damage inflicted. Start of the third turn, activate special action self, 10% to damage inflicted, 20% to crit rate. On special move arts action, 30%. These guys are not as good as I thought they were going to be. I don't know if it's going to be worth it to even force them on a blast-based team, even if they have even stats, right? Because they're also strike-based Z ability, plus I don't like their tag conditions. At the end of turn, you're just tagging and switching element, rather than when you're faced up against unfavorable element. That's way stronger when you're just doing, because then it's like you don't have as much control over it, right? I don't know, that's just me. Lastly, let's go ahead and talk about Nouva. Since he did just get that Zenkai, we'll briefly go over his kit, since it's, I don't think they're going to add like paragraphs to it. Ki restore speed 2,428, just regular blue card. First ability, 60% to damage inflicted, 20% cut. If there's another ally tag GT, which is always going to be the case, right? He doesn't really have a place anywhere else. 20% to strike damage inflicted, and 30 to ki recovery. Just a straight 30 feels not that great. On receiving an attack, you inflict attribute downgrade, minus 10% to damage inflicted to the enemy, and then plus 10% to damage received, and you cancel attribute upgrades. That's okay. Before receiving a strike or blast, that's his bubble shield right there. Started the second turn, you get 30% to damage inflicted, 20% to special move damage inflicted, 30% to special move gauge. Did you already have that? That's strong. I mean, it's not like Red GT Kid Goku, but it's still strong, right? And start of the third turn, you restore health by 2% and 30% to ki recovery. So third turn, he's going to be pretty fast. Good Zenkai, right? He's a boost unit. You can't really complain about this too much. And that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this season's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and hopefully you guys look forward to me spamming Regen until we get to the new version of TLP whenever that comes out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.